Yes, he has joined. Okay, sir. In last class, we have taken introduction to data flows. Okay. Within this data flow is an activity. But within this activity, a lot of transformations will be there. Within this activity, a lot of transformations will be there. Okay. Among them, one of the first step is source transformation and sink transformation. But when compared with the copy activity, what you can do additionally over here is, in the case of copy activity, there will be no transformations between source and sink. But here in data flows, source is a separate transformation, sink is a separate transformation, so that between them, you can perform different transformations. Okay. For now, as the initial part of practice, we go with the source and sink transformation. Okay. I'm going to start work with this. Just this is to configure input data sets. Even one more good feature is here. Multiple sources can be configured. That means multiple source transformations. For example, you have two files. Two files you want to join. In this moment, you have two separate inputs. Source 1, source 2, like that. Got it? Multiple source transformations can be configured. Sink, it's for output. To configure output data sets. Same, you can go as multiple. Right? So now let's see the first initial practice of this one. I hope session is being recorded. Yes. It's my resource group. From this, I am starting our regular ADF instance. So for this, we have different linked services which are already available with you. Okay, we have different storage accounts. 101, 102, 103, 104. For all these accounts already we have linked services. So let's start with some fresh data set. What data sets I am going to take is I will take this data set. Under our source container, you have emp.txt file. Okay. So this data set I am going to use it as a source. Let's create one target also for this. First, look into your Azure portal. I'm going to use storage lake 104. Input is in storage lake 101. Output is in storage lake 104. Within this, one separate container I will create. Already have some containers over here. I'm going to create a fresh container. The container is sink 104. Let's check with this. So for now, there are no files. Within where is your sync 104? Within this, there are no 105. Simply our task using data flow activity in pipeline. Within the data flow transformation, the first transformation, which is source. Within this, I will configure as input ds underscore storage like 104, 101 underscore emp. Of course, we have source under that emp. This is our data set, already we have it. The second transformation, which is sync transformation. For this, we need to create one data set, ds underscore storage like 104 underscore sync 104. The sync 104 is container. Into this container, I want to copy this particular file into this one. Because for now, without doing any changes in the data as it is, we are configuring for today. So next onwards, like the same data, we will push into your SQL tables. After that, before input and output, we will see different kinds of other transformations. Okay, on that step by step we will come. So these operations we are going to do now. So already we have this, but we don't have this. Okay, I'm going to create a data set for this. Come to Azure Data Factory. I'm going to create a new data set. Your data object is in data lake Gen 2. Click on continue. Our file is delimited. The data set name I am giving ds underscore storage lake 104 underscore sync 104. Here sync 104 is a container. But for this storage lake 104, already we have created a linked service. The linked service is this one. And whether it is working fine or not, if you browse it, if you could able to access files from this, then that is working fine. Click on browse. Already we have sync 104. Click on OK. But no need to give any directory or file here. I need first line as header here because my input file in the first line, that is header. Save OK for this. Data set created, but not yet published. If you publish, that will be permanently saved. Publishing is going on, sir. Okay, it's done. Okay, first of all, please verify your input data set. I come back to Azure portal. I'm opening storage lake 101, which is your storage account. Going into containers and selecting my source container here. Where is your file? This is your file, emp.txt. Just click on it and check the data. This is basic shape of your data. So why I wanted to show this data shape is, it doesn't matter about the rows, it matter about the first row, because first row is header. ID, name, salary, gender, department number. These are the fields. So while moving into the target or target database or target storage account, you need to give mapping. We have two types of mapping, auto mapping and manual mapping. Okay. So how to do this? For now, in the initial example, I'm going to use manual auto mapping because your target is not a database table. Okay, come back to your ADF Studio. All inputs are ready for us. We need to create a fresh pipeline. Under pipeline, new pipeline. The pipeline name, data flow underscore. A simple source to sink. Just give any name. Some name I have given here. Just I am minimizing these properties. Observe here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 on different options here. But on all these things, the data flow is not available, but data flow is available in move and transformation, move and transform. Okay, already have used copy activity. Now data flow. Now onwards, everything we will be working with data flow only. Just drag it. If you click on this data flow, here you have two options, settings and parameters. Come to the settings. It is asking you a data flow name. If existing data flows are there, you can use them. But for now, I'm going to start with a fresh. I'm going to create. Just click on a new. Observe here the first activity. By default, this should be source activity, source transformation. You can choose over here. If you click on this, the source one will be activated. Got it? What should be the source you have to configure over here? Look at the task. What is your input? This file is input. I'm taking this. Observe here output stream name. So here source is called sources sinks will be there. The output simply is treated as a stream. If you want to give a stream name, you can give it. Default source one. Suppose one more source you have created. If you click on this down arrow, one more source will be created. For that, automatically the name will be source 2. Already I told you, multiple sources can be configured within one data flow activity. Okay. Later, at the time of lookup transformation, join transformation, union transformation, exists transformation, in all these things, you are going to work with multiple sources because inputs are more than one file or more than one table. Now it's a simple activity I'm going to do. Okay. So here there are two things about the streams, data set and inline. The inline is about streaming data. Now, if you have static data, that should be data set. And select our data set name. No need to create, already we have a data set. I'm selecting that data set name. What is our data set name? Storage Lake 101 source underscore EMP. Before proceed, always test our connection. Please start debug mode. It is asking me. Just I am enabling this data flow debug. It may take few minutes time. Just that is auto integration runtime is automatically selected. Because this is a special integration runtime, sir. This debug mode enables you Spark cluster during execution, Databricks cluster during execution. That's why it may take some few seconds or few minutes time. It's all just please wait. It is going on. Okay. About these options, while executing transformations, I will explain. For now, yellow schema drift. Yellow schema drift is mostly used for during runtime from transformation to transformation. If suppose I have a output target set. Yesterday, our output target is a table. The table has only 4 columns, but meanwhile, database administrator has added 1 more column. That means there are chances to schema of the targets will be keep changing. At the time, we have to go for yellow schema drift. About remaining options, while explaining about other transformations, I will explain. See here, skip the line count. I don't want to skip anything. Suppose sometimes, if you open some files, if you open any input files, in the input files, generally some of the clients will give you first 4 lines or 5 lines as some comments. What is first field, what is second field? They will give you some comments. Okay, but comment should not be a data. Suppose they have given 4 lines of comments. I want to skip them. Then you have to specify your number, how many lines to be skipped. Okay, so here nothing is ready to skip. I'm keeping only 0. Got it? And the next option is sampling, enable and disable. Suppose your input file volume is 1 terabyte. But you are a developer, you just want to test whether my transformation is going perfectly or not. In this moment, you need not work with entire 1 terabyte of data. At the time, go for sampling. By default, that is disabled. Okay, these are the basic options. Let me check. Till now, only source is configured. Okay, the source is ready. Just click on open. What data set you have selected, emp.txt is selected. Okay. Observe here, all of you. After source, there is a plus symbol. This is first step transformation. For this, the second step transformation, if you want to add, just click on this plus symbol. What transformations available, it will show you. Yesterday, I have listed you some of the transformation like join, exists, union, lookup, conditional split, and all these things. Conditional split means if else activity, similar to if else activity. In this way, many things. But now I'm going to use a sync transformation. There is sync. Sync will be in the last. Instead of searching manually, just type in the search. Now in the last step, the sync should be configured. Okay. One thing, sir, come back to the source. After that, sync is added. But in the source, there are no options. There are no options for what you call mapping. But at the time of configuring sync, there are options for mapping. Got it? Okay. First, give some names about the sync. Sync 1, but input stream should be source 1. Okay. For this sync 1, input stream should be source 1. Okay, that is already selected. Here, what data set you want to use? What is the data set we have created? We have just created one container. Data set for the container. I'm taking this. I will use that name over here in the place of target data set. No. Please check. Come down, down. This one. Understood. Remaining options as usual. Okay, debug, data flow debug mode is activated. Click on test connection. Please wait. Testing is going on. Okay, connection successful. Okay. Now sync is configured. Come to the settings. Are there any useful options for us? Clear the folder. If any files are there, already existed files are there, if you activate it, that will be cleared. That means deleted. That means a fresh data will be loaded into this. File name option. Using the default option. And quote all. For the header, it will apply double quotes for each field. And look me into this. Headers. Enter array of string values to add as a header of your output file. Example, Microsoft all rights reserved, such kind of things. Okay, that is for now, just suspending that discussion. Who can write into your targets? Owner can write, group and others. Okay, so to whom you want to give the permissions, you just enable them. Okay, remaining here, nothing is useful for now. Yeah. Come to the mapping. Observe here, there are two types of mappings, auto mapping and manual mapping. By default, auto mapping is enabled. So your input is a file. File has header. In output, there is no file, just a container we have given. So in this case, as easily whatever the header you have, simply all the headers as easily will be copied into the target without any modifications. Suppose if target is database, you have to disable this. See here how the mapping is applied: ID to ID, name to name, salary to sal, gender to gender, department number to department number. If you want to do any changes, you can change it. Observe here. First I want name. Understand? First I want name, next ID. Okay. So this example we can show it practically while you are loading data into a target database table. Okay, there you can observe, because here there is no question of mapping, because input is a file, output is a file. This is not being dragged. Just ID the first, name in the second, salary in the third, and then gender and then department name. Okay, for now I'm going to use auto mapping. Okay, optimize. While loading data, Databricks cluster will be applying partitioning techniques. Okay. Because of these partitions, data will be loaded faster. Single partition, that means without any partitions. Set partitioning, you can optimize. For the partitioning, there are different algorithms. About these partitioning and hashing techniques, you'll be understanding in the Databricks concepts. Not now. For now, I'm using default, that means use current partitioning. Finally, inspect our data. Perfectly being mapped or not, you can check it. Column to column, ID to ID, name to name, salary to salary, gender to gender, department number to department number. There is no chance of getting mistakes here because auto mapping is enabled here. Got it. Finally, data preview. Because for the data preview, for the target data set, you don't have any data. Got it. So simply, these are the basic settings. We started our work from the sync configuration. Anything optimize you want, the optimization will be controlled by number of partitioning, by using partitioning techniques. What type of partition you want, you can choose it. Mapping. For source and sink, the mapping between the fields, auto mapping, we have enabled it. Got it. Now everything is ready, sir. This is what our entire data flow activity. Within the data flow activity, you have only two transformations. You have two transformations, source as sink. That's it. Got it. Now you can execute it. I'm going to publish. Publishing is completed. Now you can run it. Go back to your pipeline. This is your pipeline. Okay. Now you can run it. Click on debug. It may take few minutes time, sir. Because what is the background of a Spark? Sorry, what is the background of data flows? Backend is Databricks cluster. At runtime, the cluster will be initiated. For the cluster initiation, it may take few minutes time. Once the cluster is assigned, then the remaining process is faster. Still that is in progress. Succeeded, sir. Execution successful. You can just observe that the basic information what has been done. Okay, there is no information about the data. There is information about only the process. And please verify your target data set, sir. Just come back to your Azure portal. This is our source data set. And go to your target storage account. The target storage account is storage like 104. Go to the containers. Sync 104 is our container. What is the file name? This will be the file name. Okay. If you enable partitions, you can configure the number of partitions because your file data set is very bigger. If file data set is very bigger, you can choose multiple number of partitions. Got it. So ID, name, salary, gender, department number, as it is the same mapping has been done because auto mapping is enabled. Got it. On that way, you can copy the files and you can configure source and C, but we did not perform any transformation between source and C. So this is the output generation. This is the style of Spark, sir. In the case of Spark, in Spark cluster, if you copy any file into the target storage system, the Spark behavior will be like this. The Spark divides the data into partitions. The partitions will be loaded into the target. Got it. Okay. Once again, a small thing. Now we are going to start work with the database. This time we are going to use the sync as database table. Okay. So with this, how it works, you please check. Already we created one database. What is our database server? I forget that user ID and password also. Let me check. I think this is right. MyAZ SQL. Go to the Power Query Editor. The password I am giving. It's a firewall issue. Because for the SQL client, this is IP address. This IP address is not yet registered into firewall. Just click on this, that will be added. Check the confirmation successfully updated server firewall rules. Click on OK. I think already we have created a table, EMP. So now I'm going to use different table. Because already we have data into the EMP. Let me write on the notepad, then I will paste over here. Table name, let's say employee, ID int, name, next field salary. Now in this example, I'm going to use exact same sequence of the columns with same names because auto mapping I want to use. Salary integer. What is the fourth field? Gender. Next, department number. So this table I'm going to create. I'm running this. Query executed. Check the table list. If table is not visible, just click on refresh. Now check once again. Employee is created. Okay. Later you can check the data once data loading is complete. I'm going for a fresh pipeline. I'm going to create a fresh pipeline, but to create a fresh pipeline, what you need, sir? You should have a data set for this table. But to create data set for this linked service already we have created for this database. So what is that data set we will see? So what is that linked service? First we will check whether that linked service available or not. I am clicking on this manage. Where is, I think it's not. Okay, let's do one thing. We will create a fresh because I confused for which it is. Just click on new. This time Azure SQL. I'm going to create a linked service for Azure SQL database. The name I am giving LS hyphen. What is the database name we have used? MyAZSQL. Sorry. LS underscore MyAZSQL. Some name I am giving like this. Auto integration runtime is already selected. Subscription, free trial. Server name. What is the server name? Here you can check. MyDB-Ser. Please check its name, MyDB-Ser. This one. Okay. And what is our database? MyAZSQL is our database. The username. Again, username I forget. Once again, let me come back. Practice user 101. The username practice user 101. Okay. The password. Okay, directly here I can select. Now I am creating this. Where is that? This one we have created and test the connection of it. So test connection. Connection successful. And also one more activity we will see. Okay, if error comes, we try that activity. Linked service is successfully created. This one, right? Okay. Now I'm going to create a data set. Go to the other symbol. Under data sets, create a new data set. So here I am selecting Azure SQL database. Database name, the dataset name, ds underscore my az SQL underscore. What is the table name we have given? Employee. This is our table. Linked service just now we have created ls my az SQL. I am selecting this. Okay, Mr. Sanjay, you are sleeping. Okay, the table name we need to give. We have two tables, EMP and employee. Recent table is employee. Got it. I click on working. Data set is perfectly created, sir. I am publishing this data set. Okay, everything is ready. Now we can create pipeline with the data flow activity. Going to create a new pipeline now. Click on new pipeline. This is data flow. Data lake to SQL table. Some name I have given. Just minimizing these properties. Where will be your data flow activity? Under move and transform, second option. Take this one. Got it. Come to the settings. Giving a new name for this. The name is data flow 2. The first step we need to configure source. Add source. What will be the source? Same file I'm going to use.
Sir, what is this inline option?
Going to select the data set. Sorry.
There was an inline option, right? Source type.
What is the data set you have created? For the source, previous source. Storage lake 101 underscore source underscore EMP. All these things are ready. Just let me click on, let me configure that sync for this. Click on plus symbol. Just you can do the search like sync. The sync ready. Now I'm configuring this. Same as usual. Same names I'm giving. What is the data set? That it should be a table. Previously have created a data set for this table. What is that name we have given? Just a ds underscore my SQL, my az SQL underscore employee. This name we have given. Okay. Now all the things are ready. Check the mapping. Source file, whatever the field and field order it has, the same order is there in target table also. That's why auto mapping is okay. You can do the inspect. ID, name, salary, gender, department number. Again, here look at the last columns. Same. No need to do any modification. That means auto mapping is okay for now. Okay. So everything is ready. Already we have tested the connection, but we need to test the connection with target data set. Target data set. So come to the sync and test the connection. Previously it said successful. Once again, I am checking the connection. Connection failed. The reason, some new IP address is generated over here. Maybe. Let me take the copy of this. Lot possible errors it has given. First, I am taking this IP address. This IP, it is saying that this IP address is not allowed. To solve this problem, we need to go to the firewall settings of your database. So I'm going back to Azure portal. Under your database, click on overview. Click on overview. You will see option set server firewall. Click on this. Already in our previous works, we have configured some of the IP addresses. Now a new range of IP is produced. But every time that can be dynamically, IP address can be dynamically incremented or decremented. Sometimes it is constant. That's why admins will provide some range of IP addresses. The low range I am giving 0. Here I am giving 00, something like that. Okay. In the case of high range, here I am giving some 99. Here I am giving some 05. But no, it should be biggest one. Some 95 I am giving. That means if IP address got changed in between these ranges, that is purely depends upon how the security team has allocated IP ranges to you. That is not our choice, sir. The rule name, SQL trial. And finally, I am saving this. Successfully updated. Once again, I am going to check the connection. Where is? I'm back to data factory, testing the connection. Now this time the connection is successful. Okay. So now everything is ready for you. The source sync perfectly configured. Now I'm publishing this. Okay, published. Come back to your flow, your exact original pipeline. Okay, I'm going to run this. Let me check parameters. It is asking something. Okay, no parameter is yet configured. Sir, at the time of parameter, there is a special topic called parameterization. There we will discuss about parameters. What are the pipeline parameters? What are the dataset parameters? What are the linked service parameters? All these things we will be discussing there. Okay, now everything is clean and green. Just validate. Validation successful. Now I'm going to load it. Yeah, the process is triggered. Mr. Lakshmi Narayana, I observed your chart. Inline is for streaming data. Correct. Sir, observe the error message. Not error message, confirmation message. That is succeeded. Okay. Now come back to your portal again. Azure portal. Go to your database. Enter into query editor. Just log in with your user ID and password. Previously, what was your table? dbo.employee. When you just created a table, but you did not upload any data previously. Now data should be there. Check it. Select star from your table name. Employee. dbo.employee. This is the query style in Azure SQL or SQL Server. Database to database, little small changes only. Okay. I'm going to run this and check whether data perfectly loaded or not. ID, name, salary, gender, department number, and all data is perfectly loaded without any fail. Okay. And one more point, sir. What are the possible errors? Anyone please type in chat. While loading into Azure SQL DB table. My question is, what are possible errors? Just think. Already have seen one error. Arey bhaiya, test connection error, why it came? That is what my question meaning. Client type is not configured in firewall settings. Solution already have seen. Open the database instance, go to set firewall rules and add the range of IP addresses. But in real time, you are not authorized to do that. Okay. So this is one issue. Yes, Prashar. Yes, Lakshmi Narayana. What you typed is correct. Second, sir, actually here, who is owner? I am owner of this account. I am owner of my ADF instance also. But in real time, this will not be. So for this, that means your ADF instance is your ADF instance. Of course, part of Azure, but outer instance. Understand the point, sir? Outer instance. Every apartment is you, but your apartment, you have your own flat, I have my own flat. I don't have access to your flat. Got it? Your ADF instance is going to work with me. Understood, all of you? So in this case, what you have to do is admin has to enable one option. Please go back to your database instance. Not database instance. Okay. For now, go to the database instance. Here, what is that option? Set server firewall. Here, observe. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. By default, that is disabled. Enable that. Sir, online team, are you observing? Okay. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. Just make it yes and save it. Understood? Second chance is your ADF instance. Does not have access with database server. This is another mistake, another error. So solution, enable that feature. Previously have seen. So for this, the solution, enable below option. From database, firewall settings. What is that option? You have seen. Just I am making a copy of this. Sorry. So this option you need to enable. Make it yes simply. By default, that is no. Got it. Here, what is the solution for the first error? Add range of IPs to 5. That's it. That is second. The third possible error, already somebody typed it. Someone typed in the chat. Who typed it? Mr. Sesler, data compatibility errors. Okay, data compatibility errors. What is the meaning of data compatibility errors? For example, ID, name, salary, department number, gender and department number. These are the columns. Babu, Mr. Sesi, just watch on the board, please. ID, name, salary, gender, department number. These are the columns from the file. But in table, ID. Okay, as usual. Name, but his name is configured as not null. Salary is configured as not null. Gender. Suppose gender is taking here numeric, which is int, but in the file there are the values male, female. But here in the database, I want gender as 1, 0, 1 for male, 0 for female. Now data type mismatch or not? Look at the third column. How third column was configured here? Not null. Understand the point? But here in the input file, there might be some missed value. But here, salary is configured as in the database level, salary is configured as a not null. Whenever such kind of errors you got, you have to verify complete schemas, column names, data types, and also constraints. What are the constraints? Constraints like primary key, foreign key, like this. For example, ID is configured as a primary key. Primary key does not allow duplicates, but in the input file, you have duplicates. Understand? That means the issue is not with not only the data compatibility issues, data compatibility, and you need to check constraints. So whenever this kind of error occurred in your project, so database people are not responding to you. Understand? Your manager is forcing to you. You simply ask that there is an issue while loading because of this primary key issue, because of this not null issue. If they could able to modify that, then only that will be, this loading will happen. Or else from the source, you have to remove duplicates. Once you have eliminated duplicates, then only you have to load it. Understand? On that way, different, because of different departments involvement, okay, there is no like full-fledged proper kind of a coordination between the departments. The process may be delayed. If everything is okay, immediately, whatever the constraints are required to you, if they are arranged, immediately you can load it. You can solve this problem immediately. Understand this? So in this way, many possible errors are. Once one error comes, means step by step, you need to think about that error while loading. That too, luckily here we are loading with only 5 records, 10 records, like this. There is an issue. Remember, bulk loading error. Do you remember, Mr. Shankar? This kind of error has occurred to Mr. Naresh. Bulk loading error. Because every user is not authorized to load bulk volumes of data. To perform bulk loading, the user should have separate permissions. The admins will set that permission. Understand? What is that error message? Just to check in the Google. I forget that error message. Millions of records are there. You are trying to load them. But user 1 is doing that for him, that will be worked out. User 2 is doing the same thing. For him, that will not work out. Okay, you should have some special permissions for that, for bulk loading. So all these are different possible errors while loading the data. Okay, I hope all of you understood today's session. So final summary of today. Why data flows are important even though we have copy activity? Please answer someone. Waiting for your answers. We can perform various transformation in data flow. Answer by Prashant. Yes, because if it is copy activity between source and sink, you cannot perform any transformations. Got it. And what we have discussed today is first data lake to data lake. Our source is data lake, target is also a data lake. And second activity, data lake to Azure SQL. I have a final question. Azure SQL is OLTP or warehouse? Online team is OLTP. Actually, as a ETL developer, we need to take data from the OLTP systems and dumping into the warehouse, right? But in this example, why I have done from our data storage lake to SQL, why I kept the target as SQL? Not reporting purpose. Processed results are required to online applications. But online applications are taking data from OLTP databases. Online applications are taking data from OLTP databases. That's why whatever the final summary results I have processed, these summary results I will upload into my OLTP system. Maybe on-premise or maybe cloud. Maybe NoSQL database also. NoSQL is also for OLTP. Understood? So in the climax, you will be learning like how to work with the Synapse and how to work with even Cosmos DB kind of databases also. So very soon, sir, within a weekdays, like I am going to start a session of Synapse as a separate session. At the time, you have to attend 2 hours of session. One session, let's go as ADF. Another session, a special sessions about Synapse, such kind of things. Okay. Yes, sir, all of you. Tomorrow also same link, but every day it is asking you registration, sir. Your email ID and password, sorry, your name, first name, last name, and password it is asking you. You will get the confirmation email immediately. So that, why I'm doing like this is to maintain your attendance. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, all of you. Let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, sir, for coming 5 days, that is really difficult to attend 7:30 for me. I will join the class by 8 a.m. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you.